what a great symbol of a man who was praying. He showed him like clasping his hand tightly. He looked from afar. He just like said, that's such a beautiful picture. But then he said, as he walked closer, he noticed that the priest was not praying. Instead, he was putting his hands together to squeeze lemon and the juice into a cup. From afar, it's easy to appear pious. It's easy to appear as though we're religious. And from afar, the priest looked like he was praying. But as you walk closer, as you look at him, what he was doing, he was actually just squeezing lemon juice into a cup. Something that's mundane, something that's just daily actions that he'll perform on a daily basis, that he's doing it for himself and not for religious sake. But how about you? A question we should ask ourselves. What difference does it make in my workplace that I'm a Christian? What difference does it make in my workplace that I'm a Christian? Now, I share with you the story that in Australia, when I was working there, every Monday when we go back to work, people always ask, how's your weekend? And most of us will talk about how awesome and wonderful Sunday was. I went for a barbecue, I didn't have to work, I slept in late, I went out with my friends, I ate good dinner. And then nobody really talks about Saturday, and other people say, oh, Saturday I went out to this party, I went out to visit my family. And whenever it came to James will always talk about Sunday and not much about Saturday. Then I realized that, wait a minute, why am I not talking about Saturday? Am I ashamed of what I do on Saturday? Or is that I feel like I will impose on people, they'll feel uncomfortable. So I decided to give it a test, and then just do this trial. And then on Monday, they said, how was your weekend? I said, Saturday I went to church, and church was awesome. It's just quietness. I said, all right. So what do you do at church? The polite response from that one courteous guy who just kind of killed the silence. I said, well, we went to church early in the morning. We do this little thing called Bible study at church, and then we have worship, and then afternoon we have youth group, and at night we went out to eat dinner. And they're like, oh. Never knew you were a Christian. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. I realized, James was a Christian on Saturday at church, but people who I interact more than 10 hours every day for at least 5 days a week don't realize I'm a Christian, and my Christianity does nothing for them. Nothing. Maybe you're not like me. I'm sure you're better than me. Because you are a Christian, you bring to your workplace integrity. You bring to your workplace good morals. You bring to your workplace discipline. You bring to your workplace acceptance. You bring to your workplace love. But is that all that is to being a Christian at work? That we're just a very good worker? We're a good person? Is that it? Is that what the gospel means to a Christian? That all it does is make us good workers? See, the fact is the truth of the gospel should work itself out in every detail of our lives. It means that if we believe that we are saved by the blood of Jesus Christ, that if we believe that Jesus died for me and rose again, if we accept His salvation and His grace and His mercy, then in every facet of our lives, it should change us. That the fact, the attitude I have towards my mom and dad should be different. The fact is, the way I interact with my manager should be different. The way I interact with my subordinates should be different. The way I go and talk to strangers while taking the train to work should be different. The way I treat the waiter who come and serve me should be different. The way I deal with the janitor who cleans the place for us should be different. But does it? Does it make a difference in our lives? Does the gospel saturate and penetrate us so much that every touch of us is dripping wet with gospel? One of the list can take one more in. I'm going to talk about food again. Tiramisu, right? Tiramisu is not easy to make. I tried making it, it's not nice. Like I would make it, I'm not good at dessert. You know I'm not good at dessert. I'm better at savory food. But I like tiramisu, so I'll make my own. And so I try to make it, and I always fail. And then one time I met this, dessert supreme master of the universe. She can make dessert good with anything she finds in the kitchen. Like, my kitchen have nothing really good for making dessert, but she'll look at what I have and she'll make something and I'm like, oh man, that tastes really good. And she makes really good tiramisu. I was like, how do you do it? And she has this cheap, like shortcut way of doing it. And she brought me to the supermarket and he bought this biscuit finger thingy, and then she just said, this is the magic. I'm like, what is this the magic? What do you mean? And so she laid it in a tray and then she soaked it with just awesomeness. And she said that the key of it is to leave all the juice that you have prepared with the biscuit and leave it in the fridge overnight. The next day when it's utterly soaked in, it will become like cake. I'm like, what magic is this? And then she did it. She left it in the fridge, came back next day, we prepared it for small groups, and then it was beautiful. And the difference in it was I would just make sauce, pour it over whatever cake thing that I try to make, and then hope that it will be tiramisu. But she spent time, right? She prepares it the day before and pours in the whatever mixture she makes and lets it soak through overnight. And then realize that time is required for the juice to be soaked in. And the same for us as Christians, that the gospel, in order to penetrate every single area of our lives, needs to be soaked through our lives, but it will take time. So don't despair, James, that it's not soaking through every aspect of your life, that the gospel doesn't affect every way you act. Because many